If you ever worked with sales, one of the situations that may happen to you, well, I'm sure that it happened, is that someone asks you about a product, you explain everything about it, and then, okay, hopefully you sold the product, and then it comes another customer for the exactly same product asking the same questions. And you said, oh my God. One of the good things that COVID brought was this live streaming fever, a good one, I think. And with that, live selling, live shopping. It's up to you choosing the right name. And one of the big advantages I found on this is the fact that you can, from one side, you can have this in real time feeling with your customers. The other thing, and as I was a salesman, I don't know if I can call that. I know about this thing that we are explaining the same thing over and over again. It's hard to scale. With live selling, you can do that because one of the good things you can do is to repurpose the content, and with that, you can scale. Also, you can bring entertainment. You can make some special things while you are live. Even better if you use this nice tool, Reactive. So if you are watching this on LinkedIn, you can go to the video description and then you can find the link for that. So welcome everybody to another episode of the Special Marketing Live Show. Hope you all have had an amazing Easter. I took some days off during the Easter here in Portugal. And don't forget, if you are watching this on Amazon, to follow. If you are not on Amazon, you can go to the video description. You will find there the links so you can join on Amazon. And if you buy from some of the products from there as an Amazon associate, I will get a commission from qualified purchases. So today, and this is live shopping as well, or selling, sorry, but not made with Reactive. So today we have this very special guest, George Conti. It's okay. I'm gonna bring it to the screen because I have a question to make to George. Hello, George.
Hello,
Welcome.
Marco. Thank you for having me on your show today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for accepting my challenge, my invitation. It's something that for me it's a really important topic. But before that, let me ask you, your surname is Italian?
Yes.
I knew it. So today it's kind of a 100% Latin episode.
Well, Italian, I don't speak Italian, so then you're going to get me right there.
Okay. Okay. I speak a few words because it's a little bit similar with Portuguese, Italian. The Latin root it's the same, so we have some things in common. Hello, Joanna. How are you? Hope you're doing great. So again, George comes from Reactive, which is an amazing uh, live selling platform. Okay, so if you want to go really serious on this thing instead of doing that not so professional looking and not easy to work as well, because one of the problems with those live selling shows we see often on Instagram, on Facebook, is that they have some friction in the sales process. In this case, you don't. So, George, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and then we can start the conversation.
Sure. Well, thank you. Yes, my name is George Conti, and I'm working with Reactive. We are a live shopping platform. We built this platform specifically on top of Shopify, but we can actually integrate with online stores really in any that are on any platform, whether it's your own custom platform, whether you're on a WooCommerce or a Magento or BigCommerce, we can work with you on there. Mm-hmm. And we've been working on this for the last 2 years, I'll say. And our approach is a little bit different than other live shopping platform approaches. We really focus on creating an engagement with our customers. So we have quote unquote gamified sales tools in order to create engagement. And I think this goes a long way with millennials and with Gen Z consumers specifically. Plus, we do, traditional live shopping capabilities that other platforms will do. And I'll say one more thing that I think our uniqueness is, there's really three places today, Marco, that you really see live shopping. You see it in social channels, like you mentioned, Instagram, for example. You see it in Amazon Live, right? That's another
Mhm.
channel, like a marketplace type of a channel. And the third place that you're seeing live shopping today is right on merchants' websites itself, and that's where we focus on. We focus on live shopping on merchants' websites.
Awesome. Perfect. Perfect. Because, and one of the things we should think about, one of the big challenges with, for instance, going live on social media platforms, and it's tempting. Yes, it is, because it's easiest. It's where people are, but at the same time, you have plenty of distractions. Right, George? I believe that one of the complaints your customers should, because I believe that most of them already try this approach on social media platforms, but I believe that one of the problems is that people are really distracted all the time with notifications, messenger, whatever.
Yeah, there's a lack of focus associated with social media platforms, that's for sure. And it's really not their primary goal, right? Live shopping, it's kind of been an add-on that's happened over the last few years, right? The social media aspect of it is really what they do best. And from a data perspective, you don't get the data that you get when you're on your own platform. So, for example, if you've got people that are on the show but haven't ordered, right, you may not know that those people were on the show and they're interested in your products. You may only understand the people or know about the people that actually ordered the products that were on the social channels. So you're losing some of your marketing swagger there to go and remarket to them after the show. So those are some significant pieces. Mm-hmm. Plus, there are some rules associated with each of the platforms that you have to follow, and rightly so. So when you're doing it on your own website, you really are in charge, completely in charge of everything that you do.
Absolutely. You are kind of free to do whatever you want.
Free
It's
to do
your
whatever you
place.
want. Exactly. Exactly. Right. And you can collect all the data. You know about the people that entered into the show, whether they bought or not. You're free to remarket to them after the show. And even if they bought things on your show, you're free to market to them to potentially pick up some more items that were on the show, or even to drive them back to your website at a later point in time for reasons that you'd want to sell certain products for. Hmm. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right. And that drives brand awareness as well, right? So anytime that you bring people onto your site, they're likely to then, this is kind of a measure that I would say you'd want to look at. They're likely to register on your site, right? And this way you can use live shopping as a way to drive registrations, to drive brand awareness, long term, to increase your long term goals of increasing sales on your site. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And this is something that, it's important, because even though it's mainly selling oriented or sales oriented, it's branding all the time as well. Don't
Hmm.
think that, oh, this is, and one of the problems, for instance, well, it's kind of not a real problem. It's something that, for instance, people from brands, they point to Amazon. This Amazon Live thing is, oh, we focus mainly on branding and not in performance. And I'm okay with this because before being or yes, before being a live streamer, I am a marketing professional, so I know the things, I know the rules, I know what I'm doing here, and one of the things is people, they are not selling or they are not buying all the time, but they are interacting with somehow with your brand all the time. So this is something important. And for instance, I believe that sometimes people, they are not there to buy, but they are curious, they want to, because also this is a nice tool for engagement. Okay, again, branding is engagement as well. It's not just fancy things, just the fact that people like the person, the talent which is presenting your, like,
Hmm.
your
And engagement, and they like you. And to a point in fact, people will come just to watch you, right? They like your personality. So that's a big difference. When you have a website, a flat page on a website, you know, it's hard to have a personality come through on that page, right? Your personality comes right through, and that is a persona that you want to drive for your business, right? That type of a person, that type of expression. So live shopping, helps you in that way as well, is to help to drive what you stand for and get that expression out there. Hmm. Absolutely.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And also, and it has also a little bit the other side of things, and this happened to me uh, often. Like for instance, I was talking about this microphone, someone came accidentally, but because he or she liked it, the way it sounded, the way I explain when in which situations you can use this microphone, which is highlighted by the way, and this is a really nice microphone for this. So this is something that we should be aware as well sometimes, and this happens to us as well.
Yeah.
Like in real time, we go to the shopping just to, and we something caught our eyes, and then we go in and we asked, can you tell us about this, or even we are listening the explanation that someone it's saying to, or it's making to anyone else. And I believe this is for me.
Yeah. And so you touched on a couple great points right there. First one I'll just talk about is social proof, right? Um, if you're on a live shopping show and they have chat capabilities, live chat capabilities, right? People could be chatting in during the live shopping show and saying, "Hey, I love that. Hey, that worked for me. I'm a larger size and that fit me great," right? So these types of social proofs that you get very freely in a live shopping show do exactly what you said. They really drive trust, right? They drive confidence in you, so that you can now go ahead and buy that product, right? And feeling good. And this is something interesting enough. I think this is really a super ad, because if you go into a store today, right? How do you get social proof? Right. The only way you would get social proof if you went into a store, if you were standing next to me and looking at the same microphones, and I might say, "Hey, Marco, what do you know about this microphone? Did you ever use it? You look very interested in this microphone. I heard you talking about it." So you'd have to strike a conversation up with somebody in a store in order to get social proof. But here you get it very freely with the technologies that we have today in a live shopping experience.
Absolutely. And the thing is, and this happens, I don't know about you, but this happened to me lots of times because, for instance, I went to a store, I was interested in, or at least I was curious about something. But because I'm a little bit shy, even though it doesn't tell, I'm a little bit shy, or I didn't have any vendor available. I lost this chance at least to get seduced by that product. And when we talk about live streaming and live shopping or live selling, we go there and you see those people talking about those products. And okay, even though I could be a lurker, being here seated quiet, just listening and watching, I can, because someone else is asking my questions. I
Yeah.
have the chance to learn.
Yeah, and live shopping does just that. It's a combination of the convenience of online shopping plus the personalization and the knowledge sharing that you get with being like in a store. So if you were to go in a store and you were to listen, you can still listen with the chat. You can, like I was saying before, you can hear what other people say about a product. You can listen to the host who's talking about the product, who's demonstrating the product. That kind of ties into what you how you talked in the beginning, where how do we tell the same story again over and over and over and over, right? In a live shopping show, it can be recorded. You can hear that story, you tell it once, and then everybody can hear that story. But what's interesting about that is it's just not a fixed story, because people ask questions during the chat, during it, right? And this is how things become more personalized. Like in a store, you can ask the question to the salesperson, and that person can then give you some specific response back, which helps you understand that the product that you're buying is just not, kind of generic, but it's going to work specifically for you. You wanted to know whether it would do X, Y, or Z, so it would work for your use case, right? So you're always trying to solve people's problems, and live shopping goes beyond what a flat web page would give you, because of that interactive capability to ask those questions, to get the personalized feel about whether that product is going to meet your needs specifically, right? And it comes through by the host answering your questions. It comes through by the social proof, right? That's all part of what you get, and that's a difference between what we're doing today in a flat product page versus what you can do in a live shopping show, right? There are what we do get today, which kind of starts to address this, is you get reviews on a page, right? You might have, X and 100 reviews, and people will talk, and you can search through the reviews. So some of those questions are documented today, and that approaches it, but it isn't as complete as what you would get with a live shopping experience. And then I think too, Marco, you as a host, right? People develop trust in you, right? And in live shopping shows, a big part of it is the host to understand the product and to want to represent the product, right? So as you understand how the product works and you decide, hey, you want to represent the product, that's a certain trust factor that's gained by the community that watches you, so that they believe that you gave them the straight answer about this microphone. It does this well and it does that well. So if you're one of those people that want a microphone to do these things, then this is the right microphone for you, right? But if you want to do something else, then I have another microphone over here, which would be a better choice for you if this is what you want to do, right? And there's benefits to that. There's benefits in that your conversion rates will go up, because now people get more confidence in buying the product, right? And also then your return rates as a merchant will go down, because people are buying products which better suit their needs. They're just not taking a chance. They're
You're
making a
reading my
more.
mind.
I'm doing it. I mean, that's it.
You're
Yeah,
reading my mind, because I
yeah.
was asking. This would be the question that I will come follow. Is that returning rate that for me, I um I don't have idea about, for instance, on Amazon. But do you have with your customers any idea how much the returning rate decreased, for instance, or some testimonials that they share with you?
Yeah, I've had testimonials of people that talk about, and it is documented out there. I don't have the numbers that I can give you specifically, but there are numbers out there by research firms that have done, broad research to show that live shopping show returns rates are significantly lower than what you would get without live shopping. And the conversion rates are significantly higher as well. And the conversion rates, what we do a couple things during a live shopping show. First is that we drive confidence, right? We do the demonstrations, whether it's a demonstration or a tutorial. It's the stories behind it, so that people know how to apply it, right? It's all that good stuff, and that's really important. And then I think there's also the excitement factor or the fear of missing out, the FOMO factor as well, which drives conversions. I want to say that I think FOMO can be a good thing, and not in a way that it would not increase conversion rates, because people want to buy the product once they know that it works for them, right? And we can just kind of help them move over the edge of that experience and that friction, and just get them to buy it. Sometimes people don't buy things because they just have this hesitation, but a live shopping show can create a little bit of a sense of urgency in the right way to get those people to cross over the line and purchase as well.
Absolutely. And the thing is, they are kind of excited about the product. They are kind of, this is for me. And if you don't create some mechanism somehow that, okay, it's the right time for you to buy it, or you will lose the chance, or it will go more expensive, or this is a unique moment for you to buy it. This is something that, of course, will help you to sell. But talking about this, just let me mention these books that I have in my carousel. I have some. I shared in both of them some insights about this on live streaming, particularly in the second volume, the one that it's highlighted right now. I have this um, insight. I didn't want to call it prediction. I think it's more a recommendation, and I come up with the people like me approach, which is a blend between live streaming, word of mouth, and influencer marketing. Okay, because this is something that we should consider as well when we have these kind of live shows. I believe that people will kind of engage easier with people that resonate with them. So instead of seeking for stars, and it's good, the thing is they are very really expensive. One of the things is we want to relate with people that are like us, like that will may use this microphone, really use it, not just to show in the camera, and also people which are more knowledgeable about the microphone as well, because I know that that person knows about that microphone. I know that he uses it, and he's someone that will actually help me. And for instance, if this microphone is not the best one for me, she or he will tell me. And by the way, hello Eileen, how are you? Do you have this because I believe that one of the things with your customers is that sometimes they think, oh, I need to bring a big star so people can come and they are excited about them. But the thing is, people will come for the star, to see the star, to listen, to watch it. But are they buying because of them? Is this trust? And also, of course, budget's the side of the thing. What do you have to share about this? Because I believe this is important
It's
too.
interesting. It's interesting. I definitely think people buy from influencers that they have trust built up with, right, over time. I've had many people tell me that they have bought products from influencers because they've been buying products from them, and they've all been great products, right? So as long as you continue to do your homework as an influencer slash host and present the products correctly and appropriately, people will buy them because it makes sense for them, and they'll be satisfied with those products. So that's huge right there. That person to do the due diligence, and that's too how the personalized approach comes in. I can remember years ago, you'd go to a store and you'd go in there and you'd look for a salesperson that you're familiar with, and you bought from that salesperson before because you liked their approach, you liked how they described the products, right? It worked for you, right? You walked out of there very satisfied as a customer. And it's the same thing online. People that are selling to you, you want to feel comfortable, you want to get the information that you need, right, in order to make the correct decisions and get some value for what you're purchasing. So this is a super important piece. Is the persona, the person that's representing your brand online. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Absolutely. And another thing, yes, yes, George.
I was going to say, and a way that you can kind of measure the success, right? If I may, you talk about how do you measure success of these shows, right? With these people, is you could look at like the engagement associated with the show, just not the show itself, but associated with the show, meaning that these shows are going to be live for a fixed amount of time, like we are today, but then they're recorded, and then you can replay these shows on your website, right? So people who didn't make the live can come back and they can see the show, and this way you can look at the engagement of how many views you have, how many people have registered. You probably, like I mentioned earlier, you probably will see increased engagement around registration numbers, on number of views on your site associated with your live shopping shows that you put on. So you've got sales numbers that use as measures for success of these. You use conversion rates, you use engagement numbers like number of views, right? And registration numbers are great ways to measure success of the live shopping shows on your website.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is important. And there's one kind of, as a marketing professional, I like to take a look at what people are saying. There's this thing: if you can't measure, you can manage. I don't believe in this, because there are some things that we can't measure, but they are important as well. For instance, how a live show which nobody's bought anything, but they got, I liked, I'm gonna come here next time, and then the next time they are buying. So it's a little bit tricky to seek just for numbers, looking only for numbers to measure things. Sometimes we have to have some gut feeling as well. But just let me fall here into the chat, because I can see that Eileen and Joanna, they are talking here. And Eileen said, great points, George, about the thing about those people we know and which we trust, and
Mhm.
we like to buy or from them. Uh, I even want to check out with my favorite grocery store cashier.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know,
Yes, yes,
yeah, everything, and people want to be social. They want to have friendships. And we even develop those friendships during the live show. The community that I mentioned earlier, people will say, make a comment in the chat during the live show, and I used this before. I liked it. It did this for me. I paired these two pieces of clothes together, and they look great. I went out for the evening, and then somebody will comment back during the live show and say, I agree with you. That's great. I'm going to try that. Right. So the next time you come to a live show, you can see those same people. They're making those same comments, right? And you can see, glad to see you're here, right? And you build up that community and that friendship over time that's associated with your brand. And that's something, again,
absolutely.
you don't have the ability to do on a regular kind of website, a flat product page. Is build up that community in such a personalized way as you can do during a show.
Absolutely. And just to kind of emphasize what you just said, there's this co-host I have. I will have him again tomorrow, or we are gonna have each other co-hosting the amazing show. I think maybe you already saw it. And Ryan, he's a good friend. He's doing this live shopping on Amazon as well. And the thing is, can compare. Probably you remind that TV show from the 80s, 90s years, where everybody knows you. If you go to their live shows, you will see the most of the people all the time there and chit chat and engaging. It's amazing, and I believe that this is important too. And this I have so many things because one of the great things, and we should embrace on live streaming, not just live selling mainly, not just saying, oh, this cell phone has this, and whatever. But for instance, and I have right now this product highlighted, and I made it because there's a story behind this product. One brand once sent me a product to review from the United States. Okay. But before plug it into my outlet, I forgot to see on which voltages that product, yes, worked. As you know, here in Europe we have 220 volts, not 110 like you have in the US. So I plug it, the device, and I just heard this poof, and this little smell smoke.
Oh
And I
no.
said, Houston, we have a problem.
Yeah. Houston, we
And
have.
then one of the things, I went to Amazon, I searched for this step down because it does two things. One, it's to step down the power,
Yeah.
okay, and also it has the US uh, plugs. And this is something that I tell all the time. For instance, if you are willing, if you are located in the US and you want to come to Europe, have this in mind. I emphasize this a lot because I don't want you to get your hair dryer burned. And this is something that I believe it works really well when we talk about this approach, live selling, live shopping. Why, in which context this was built? I bought this for the first time, and why this is relevant for you, creating this context through storytelling, it's even better. But this is something that I believe it's pretty useful, don't you think, George?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's super useful. The fact that you can warn people, I'll say, or remind them of the usage of a tool like a adapter like that, it would be a lifesaver, right? And maybe they wouldn't pick it up themselves. Maybe they would just be scanning through the website and they would say, okay, I like it, right? I'll buy it. And then you get somewhere and you say, oh, well, I didn't know about that, right? It would have been great if the host would have told me, if I would have known about that. So you can pre-think and help people out as a host when you're selling, and remind them of some of the constraints or ways that it should be used, so you don't run into trouble, right? And that kind of talks about how hosts should engage with the audiences. So what's different, what's I'll say is a major difference between just plain live streaming and live shopping, is that host engagement in order to sell the product. So like with live streaming, we can do things like polls, right inside of the stream to engage the folks. We can answer the questions in the chat associated with the products. So you want to make sure as a host that you, during these live streams, that you are being as engaging as possible with the audience to bring out those questions, to drive that confidence that they need in order to purchase and to use it properly, just like in your case, to know, hey, you better use an adapter with this if you're going to Europe, right? I mean, that's maybe where this is, typically used, so to speak. So I see that as one of the bigger mistakes that people make during live shopping when they first get started, is they want to just do live streaming and they don't really do pure live shopping. I see customers will start off and they will offer products as they're live streaming, but they won't engage the audience directly, right? That to create engagement, to try to create more of a social community, and that's part of what your goals are. So when you talk about, what are your goals for the live shopping show? Obviously, you want to sell, right? That's what pays the bills, right? But you also want to engage the community to drive the social connections, right? Which creates more brand awareness, more brand loyalty, which drives more views to your site, which creates a whole flywheel of success for your company.
Absolutely, absolutely. And another thing, and you were and by the way, for instance, this USB hub that it's highlighted right now on Amazon, it was the same. I was having problems connecting my devices directly to the computer because USB, some of them they were USB powered as well, so they were stealing power from other devices, and I was like, everything it's getting not working properly. So this is something important as well. I like to bring perspective about and context why this is relevant or why this should be relevant for you. And this will take us to something that it's really works pretty well. And I'm not saying that it works because we are kind of tricking things or we are gaming things. No, it's because it's the right thing. It's cross selling or upselling or downselling. Because sometimes, for instance, if you get this microphone, let me highlight it. Probably you need to buy not just the microphone because maybe you're using only a USB microphone, so you want to get a Shure SM7B. But with the microphone, for instance, you need to buy the boom arm, you need to buy the XLR cable, you need to buy as well an inline preamp. So this is something that you should be aware of when you're doing live selling. Of course, this is important while in everything you do related to e-commerce, but in live shopping it's even more important because people are there sitting in front of you listening to you, and you have the chance to sell the main thing and also to sell everything that probably they will need to put that to work. Because it's frustrating, I don't know about you, George, but for me it is pretty frustrating that, okay, I bought this microphone, but when I was putting things together, I realized I need something else.
Yeah,
So I was thinking that today I'm going to use it for the first time, but then I realized
yeah, and you
I
want
don't
to
have
make
it.
sure you bring that out as a host, right? You want to make sure that people understand that three things go together. This is really the complete package that you need. But at the same time, you also want to have the data that's associated with what people purchased. So it could be that they purchased one or two of the three things that they need. So what should you do? As you should really remarket to them. You really want to have the data to then go back to them and say, in a constructive manner, well, reiterate what was said during the show. You really need these three things. We're trying to be helpful here. And if you need the one that you didn't buy, right, then here's a way that you can go ahead and buy it. Maybe you even provide the same discount if there was a discount made available during the show. You provide that as part of it because you want to get the sale associated with that particular product. So the data, it comes back again to on a channel that is on your own website. When you're doing on your own website, it's super important to be able to collect the information associated with what people purchased and what people were on the show, so you could remarket to them afterwards in order to complete the sale. And it's helpful for them, as well as it's significant revenue boost for you. And if you do want to upsell, that gives you an opportunity to upsell or cross sell afterwards. Yeah,
Absolutely.
the data is super important. You don't always get the data when you're on the social channels, and you collect a lot of first party data, additional first party data, when you're doing it on your own website. And with cookies going away, in upcoming years, any data that you can collect, you can identify. I don't mean to spook you, but you can identify people to some degree that are on your website, right? And then you can identify them when they're on another website, right? And so you can actually start to create profiles of people across your brands, so to speak. If you have multiple brands and you have all that same data in your family of stores. Hmm.
Absolutely. And the other thing, and it seems that you're reading my mind, I'm getting a little bit scared. Because the next thing I want to ask you is, with the engagement of the person, with the request, with the questions. Also, understanding the behavior, how they behave while you're live, what they are asking you. This is also a nice way for you to get ideas how to talk, for instance, to rescript a little bit, for instance, your live shows and the descriptions you make about the products. Also, this will give you ideas about new products that maybe you can come up with, maybe some packages as well, because sometimes, as you mentioned, sometimes people, they you are just thinking about selling the cell phone, but then you realize, oh, they want the case as well, they want the protection, so also they may want to have an SD card wherever. So this is important to understand all these data that I believe it's harder to get in other situations, because for instance, if again, taking getting back to your words, if it's a flat website, you I'm sure that you won't get the same amount of feedback, of engaging, of chatting that you will get in a live show. So how can we read these things and then, okay, let's uh, come with these products that people are asking about it, let's improve as well. And for instance, some brands, they are the brands that do the products, and so this could be an amazing resource for coming up with new products, or even to improve the actual those that they are already own, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Reactive has in-stream polling capabilities, right? Which is a great way to do this. So right inside the stream, you can ask those questions. You can say, you can ask them, would you like this? What do you think? This top goes good with jeans? Does it go good with chinos? Does it go good with shorts? Ask those types of questions and see what the answers are. Right? Would you like a top to go with shorts? Would you like a top that's a pink top? Ask the types of questions, engage the audience, and that will help you drive what your plan should be moving forward by asking these questions. And of course, it's going to drive the engagement with the audience. They're going to feel like they have their opportunity to create that connection with your brand in order to drive what your brand is going to be providing to them in the future. So that's a way that you want to do it, is through in-stream polling. And I would also say that what we do is all in-stream, right? And we collect the data associated with that. So we collect the data associated with when you put things into carts, when you check it out, all that information you'll get as a merchant, right? So that can also drive your understanding of what time, when did people put things into the cart, when what did they actually see as significant during the show, which would help you drive improvements in your show moving forward. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, because again, it's really important to understand. And again, there's two things that I believe they are crucial when we talk about content marketing, and when it's live streaming it's even important, which is context and relevance, being relevant. Because if you are, for instance, it's summer and you are talking about umbrellas, even though the umbrella could be pretty amazing and the price it's huge, nobody is thinking about them. Well, normally, because right now summer it's a little bit crazy. So it's, I believe it's important. And also to get back to this engagements, to get back to the reports, what did people bought from our previous show, what we can, for instance, make these packages, everything. It's easy, for instance, with Reactive to build these packages. For instance, okay, I can sell you just the cell phone, but I can sell the cell phone, the case, and for instance the glass protection.
Yeah, you can put those all together and make those packages. and then you can offer those packages together. What's also interesting too, you can do with Reactive is you can do things like gift with purchase right inside the stream. So if you have a bag, maybe you have a tote bag, I'll use as an example, that you've got a lot of, and you want to offer that as a free gift to people while they're buying their other products, right? With Reactive, you simply select the tote bag, you select the products, and then you go and offer that right inside the stream as a gift with purchase. So when you check out, it's automatically created for you that you're going to get the tote bag for free. You're going to pay for the gift. And so we reduce the friction significantly there of there's not a coupon code you need to add in order to get the free gift, so to speak. You just push the button and say, I want that package. I want that package of a free gift and of a product. And it just makes the checkout process so much easier for you. And as well with discounts with Reactive is you're offered discounts, and when you go ahead and you buy the product, you simply click on the buy now button, and we automatically add the discount to the product when you're checking out, and this way there's no friction in purchasing. So packaging and discounts are made very easy, as easy as we can make it inside of Reactive.
Absolutely. And this is something that I've been noticing, for instance, on Amazon. It's the same because besides notifications, in a business perspective, one of the main problems when we do this on social media platforms is there's lots of friction because I can be watching what you're about to sell on your live show, but then I don't go further. I don't send you, I don't pay you, I don't do the things. Is like, oh, I like those shoes, they are pretty awesome, but then I leave and bye bye. With this different approach, you can buy right away what you are seeing. So there's no this, I will do this later, or this is not. And the thing is, sometimes we are not confident about the process, okay, because this is important as well. When we have a tool that provides us with trust, that we believe that when you hit that, when you press that buy button, we are sure that we will get that at our places. Okay. And for instance, when we are doing this on Amazon, it's not on, sorry, no, on Facebook or Instagram, we are not sure that this will go through, or that we will get a box with two rocks inside. So this is this a consternation as well on your customers, like having this checkout process easy, straightforward as well?
Yeah, absolutely, Marco. The more friction you have in the checkout process, you see a lot of abandonment associated with the checkout process. People just don't want to go through that difficult process of purchasing. So the easier we can make it, the more of an impulse buy it becomes as well. It makes it easy for them to just buy it, right? We've seen a lot of things happen over the age of online shopping. Amazon does a one button checkout, make it easy, right? I mean, this has been a great thing. They save your information and they make it easy for you to check out, which is great. That's what you want. You just say, hey, I want to buy this. I don't want to have to go through any extra steps in order to purchase this product. So that's part of what we're doing, is we're trying to make that whole process as seamless as possible to encourage and make the process, the purchasing, as easy as possible. So to complement that, we also have what's called a shop along type of a capability, right? And what the shop along capability is since we're running on people's websites, you want to leverage the product pages that are on the websites. What I see in a lot of different live shopping solutions is their site takeovers, meaning that they take over a whole page, and and they don't give you the ability to navigate to the site's product page and use any of the assets associated with the product page. So what we allow you to do is to put a link right into the stream that the viewers can click on, and then that link will take them directly to that product page that you're talking about, and the live stream will then start up and continue where you left off, right on that particular page. So now you can leverage any assets that you may have on that product page as part of what you use, or to help the customers, get a better understanding of the benefits of the product.
Pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this is
Mm-hmm.
really useful. And we have some comments here from Joanna, Amazon Live. It's the only reason I started buying from Amazon. Pretty nice. Influencer made me trust the products and processes like returns. And this is good as well. Amazon still pay. How you rank is amazing. Yeah, but the thing is actually, and I have this all this thing that we have these conversations with the people there, and they ask questions, and the thing is sometimes they, and there's this kind of nice funny thing that sometimes they just kind of they buy just something because they liked us. They were not, they didn't had at the beginning the intent to buy anything. Okay. And then
Mm-hmm.
they just come and, oh, you're nice, you're funny, or you're helpful, or whatever, let me buy something.
Yeah, absolutely. People buy from people. That's the truth. I didn't really know that I was going to buy this today, but you convinced me that this is something I need, and that happens all the time. You have problems, and you don't necessarily know that there's a solution out there for a problem. And when you go on a live stream and the host represents, this problem and the solution associated with it, then it's a good time to buy, right? I mean, let's go ahead and knock that one off. Let's go ahead and get that at that point in time. It's a discount potentially on it as an incentive, and and you trust that person. Like I said earlier, over time you'll purchase it just because of the trust that you build up with the host, that they do their homework and the products work, and that's an important factor. That's something that you don't have. That personality, that trust of that brand comes out through the host, right? That more so than what you can get on a product page, on a flat product page. So live streaming brings that brand personality right to the forefront, so you can fully use it as part of your marketing activities. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And which difficulties do you find more often on your customers? Like, I'm not good on camera. I don't.
Number one associated with this is, how do I get started? Right? That's really super huge. People are not familiar with how to do live shopping, so they want to know how to get started. I have a checklist. There are people out there have checklists, which give them a list of the things that they need to do. I also include, as part of my checklist, some details on what their choices might be inside of the categories of the checklist, right? Some of the things that they will need to do is they need to have a setting, right, someplace. If you have a physical store, a lot of people will use a lot of merchants will use their online store as their setting, or it just could be a simple background that you decorate as a setting, right? The host is also important. I think that in terms of getting people to show up at your show is kind of the second most asked question. Okay, I can get through, I can do the show, I can create a setting, but how do I get people to come to my show, right? So you're going to want to use social channels. You're going to want to use the same channels that you use today. You're going to want to use your email channels. You're going to want to use your social channels. You're going to want to advertise that you're going to have the show. You're going to potentially even live stream simultaneously on social channels as you do on your own website. And people will then come back to your website in order to purchase products if they're not purchasing them on the social channels, which is usually the case. So you need to be able to have the technology in place to do the live stream, the live shopping, and the social channel distribution. Different live shopping tools out there give you different services right out of the box, right? But Reactive can certainly do all those types of things. And I think the direction they ask, like, how do I get started? The direction of, okay, use this platform is a good platform. Create the right content. The content is super important, and that you have the right content for the audience, and you have the right host that knows how to engage the audience during the show as well. So you have to have platform, you have to have host, you have to have content, you have to have equipment. Equipment is actually easiest, I think, because it's well known. People like yourself, you know a lot about equipment and can easily, we can make recommendations on cameras, we can make recommendations on microphones, right? For people, that's kind of a well-known type of a well-documented way to go. So that's important. And then the selection of the host and creating then what discounts that you want to offer during the show and script it out and practice it are all things that I would recommend you do before the show. And of course, then this lives on, right? These are going to be replays as well after the show. So it's just not a one-time just a one-time opportunity to generate revenue. You can replay the replays on your on your website so that you can continually aggregate information and sell after the show. So I think that content writers as well is a little bit in lacking. People don't really know where to go to get somebody to help them be a content writer, to write the script for the show. So that's a little bit of a question or excuse, I want to say. But there are certainly people out there. A lot of hosts know how to do it as well, to write good content. And people that have been doing like QVC shows, for example, have a lot of experience on what are good approaches to build content scripts for shows.
Awesome. And we have a question. Hello, Thor. How are you? They're always talking about time. What is a proper time to start and end a show? That's a nice question.
And what's a proper frequency too? I'll add to the question. I'll ask myself the question: how often should you have shows? So I've seen live shopping shows that are successful anywhere from 10 minutes as a short time to 45 minutes has been the longest ones that I've seen that have gone on to be successful. So I'll use those as a guideline. And there's no hard and fast rules, but just use that as a guideline, depending upon the amount of information that you need to pass on, the amount of products that you're going to sell will drive the length of the show. And and the important thing is to get the questions answered by the viewers, right? The demonstrations will help to answer the questions. How long does it take to do a good demonstration? Maybe you have a pre-recorded video even that you want to use as part of the live show and narrate the pre-recorded video, right? So how long is that? And so just use your judgment in terms of getting your message across and giving time to engage the audience to answer the questions. That's super important. Don't forget about allocating time, encourage the questions, and then collect data, ask polls, use polls to collect data so you can understand how people will use your particular product or want new products in the future. So add those things all up, right? And do it all in stream, and you'll get a sense of exactly how long it should be. And in terms of frequency, I would say this: there are certain businesses that could potentially have live shows on a daily basis, right? And there are businesses that can have live shows maybe once a year or twice a year. Examples of this is if you're like a large store, like a department store, like Macy's or a Target, right? They have a lot of products that they could live stream every day. They could potentially have live stream shows about. And then you have industries like, I'll use wine as an industry, as an example. You have wine, and they have fall releases and they have spring releases. So just because they do it twice a year doesn't mean I am no less excited to go and see those shows, right? I know that I'm looking forward to those shows, or a summer collection launch for a fashion, right? I'm looking for my clothes for the summer. So I'm looking for spring, summer, winter, and fall launches in fashion, potentially, right? Or it's a holiday. I'm looking for a show around the holiday, Christmas. Okay. I want to make sure that I get the right decorations for my home. So you might be doing, shows that are based on releases. You might be doing shows that are based on holidays, right? It could be shows just based on your industry, like I said, with agriculture, like wine might be driving it at a particular point in time, or a combination of those. So use events and to drive when you want to live stream, and then drive the length of the show based on the number of products, and make sure that you include customer engagement as part of those shows, right? That's going to be the correct amount of demonstrations in order to drive the confidence to answer the questions. Put it all together, and you'll have the right length. You'll discover the right length of the show.
Absolutely.
I
And
hope I answered your question.
let me add a few things on that, because this is something that it's one of my concernations by these days, because people, I think some people, they are getting a little bit crazy, like the video should be around 10 seconds because nobody will watch it if it's longer. No, because for instance, uh, this last month I went to the movies, and I went to watch The Whale and Everything Everywhere at the same time. The two big movies which won the Oscars. One, it's almost 2 hours, 1 hour and 57 minutes. The other one is 2 hours and 20 minutes. So it's not a question of length. It's about entertaining people. So this is something important. If the content you're delivering, it's relevant, it's entertaining, it's insightful, people will stay. But of course, we have this, and this is something that you were talking, George, and I was thinking about. It's a matter of resources and budget, because sometimes we don't have enough people, for instance, to go live every day, or we don't have budget to pay to someone to go live every day. Okay. If well, maybe at some point the ROI on a live shopping could be that could justify just having someone allocated to do this. So for me, these are the two main points: resources and being entertaining. Of course, if you can set, and this could work as well as you mentioned with the FOMO. If we say our live show it's from 8 to 9 p.m., so you are or you're not, or you're outside, you're left. Maybe this could be a nice way for you to engage with people and to get this thing to work, because I don't go with that people that says that, oh, the video should be short because no one is watching a lot. No, they are watching long videos. I don't know about you, George, and people in the audience, but I tend to do these TV shows, these series marathons, mainly on weekends. So it's not a matter of length; it's a matter of catching my attention.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. You have the right content, and you make it engaging, and I will just keep on watching. Absolutely. So I'll be gathering information, and it'll keep my attention. Hmm.
Absolutely. And there's another not so good side of this, which is statistics. Statistics, they have a pretty nice thing, but they have a not so good thing, which is most of the time they lie to us. Because let's think about this. I go with 10 people to a restaurant. 9 people, we order 2 chickens or 10 chickens. Let's do this easier. I hate 9. The other 9 people, they ate 1. On average, we ate 1 chicken each one, which is a big lie. And this, to come to this situation, when we are talking about these selling moments, we tend to spend more time digesting information, watching, because, okay, it's my time to put the money, so I need to be confident that I'm doing the right choice. But the thing is, let's think. We had 10 people watching a video. 9 of them, because they are just there to see, oh, I'm curious, let me see. But after 5 seconds, they leave. But there's this person that he or she actually wants to buy the product, and she watched the whole video. And we see, oh, the average view, it's 10 seconds. We need to make 10-second video. No, you need to make a video that gives the right tools for people to buy confidently. If it takes 5 minutes for you to make this video, make it 5 minutes. Because the thing is, and people are saying, oh, people are watching TikToks. Yes, but are they buying on TikTok? I'm not sure of that.
They're advertising. Yes, they're
That's the
advertising.
they kind of and I believe that this is important. Have this in mind. Of course, I'm not saying that if you can tell the story in 2 minutes, to tell a 30-minute story. No,
Right.
it's the thing. Take the right time to make things reasonable, to get people trusting you. That's the thing. George, we need to finish this.
We're having such a good time. I love talking.
Okay, just to wrap up, George, 3 main reasons why we should embrace live selling in our businesses.
Sure. Well, first one I would say is brand awareness, right? With live selling, you're going to be more unique and stand out than your competition today. So, as the economy goes, ebbs and wanes, right? Maybe, live shopping in a lower economy, you're looking to drive more brand awareness in a more robust economy. Maybe you feel like, okay, you don't have to, but you still should, because ultimately, as you drive brand awareness, you are going to increase the health of your business. And live shopping being unique, I'll say, or a new way to sell with an online store, you want to engage it to drive brand awareness. The second is conversion rates, right? So with live shopping, conversion rates are significantly higher. We've seen people that have 30% or maybe even higher conversion rates on live shopping shows. So if you really want to boost your sales, live shopping is a great way to boost your sales. And third is really creating a community around your brand and driving social proof associated with your brand. And live shopping will do that. They will create that social proof, which ultimately will help and create more of a viral sale during, either within a show or outside of a show, because of the social proof associated with your live shopping. So there's many more, but those are just three examples of ways that you can benefit your site by using live shopping. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And how can people find you and Reactive?
Yes, They can find us on the web. Thank you at www.reactive.live.
Awesome.
REACTIVE.live.
Okay, so maybe soon we will be back with a little bit more demoing or so about the tool. We couldn't make this on Amazon, but if you follow me, you can find me on LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook with same username MFCnovo. You can see it here. So probably soon I need to talk with George because we will keep
Be happy
the
to.
conversation.
Yes, be happy
so
to.
we will be probably soon, well, maybe in May or so, we need to come up with a date so we can showcase and demo the tool so you can get to know it a little bit better. So, George, thank you so much for your time. It was really insightful and entertaining and useful, this conversation about live selling. Thank you so much for bringing these nice ideas, for bringing these nice insights about this reality. This is not the future, this is a reality today. I believe that some brands, they are doing pretty nice results embracing this um, approach. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming.
Thank you, Marco, for having me. Appreciate it.
And also, thank you so much for Joanna, Eileen, Thor, and all of you that probably were listening, watching in silence, but thank you anyway. Tomorrow, I will be back with Ryan to another episode of the Homazing Show. So stay tuned and see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of the week. Bye bye.
Bye.